and welcome to the Show Day podcast. Today's July 17th, 2019. It's hard to believe that we are already here, July 17th. I've been saying for the past week, it's less than a month until DCI finals. Last night, we had our biggest show of the season to date, both literally and figuratively. You've got 9 world-class scorers in attendance, the largest field we've seen so far this season, and also more figuratively when we're talking about how intense the competition was. We had the top 8 cores from last year's DCI finals, Santa Clara Vanguard, all the way down to the Blue Stars, and you add in Phantom Regiment, 9 of last year's top 12, or top 11 for that matter. So really a very intense competition last night. I'll dive into that today. Plus, take a look ahead to tonight, where we have a very interesting open class show scheduled, all open class scores in Augusta, New Jersey. I'll dive into that as well because there's some very interesting things with that show, both competitively and also the venue of the event is also very different. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. Last night, as I said, biggest event of the year so far, DCI Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, of course, one of the better, or best, I should say, band programs in the nation, Broken Arrow High School. Let's jump into the recap, and really, where do you begin, I think, is the best question, and I'm going to begin just right off the top, general effect, or right on the left side, I guess. You've got 2 general effect judges. You've got the general effect 1 judge, you've got the general effect 2 judge. We'll add in 2 general effect judges this weekend in San Antonio and in these premier events. There's the 4 GE judges plus more judges and other captions as well. So, general effect. At the top, Bluecoats 35.9. That is out of 40. They're at pretty much a 36 out of 40, and they're still 3 weeks in the season left. That's unheard of. And the scores that these scores are putting up, they're going to have to stall them out. The judges are going to have to stall these scores out because right now they are literally they're getting better every night. Their scores going up somewhere between like 5/10 and like 2 points every night. And there's only 11 points left for the Bluecoats to get. Like, they're going to have to do something. Moving down the list here, Bluecoats do only win general effect by 1/10. So you got 35.9 to a 35.8. You've also got Vanguard in the 35s at a 35.3. After that, you have the Boston Crusaders jumping Carolina Crown. Boston at a 34.7, that is, and Carolina Crown at a 34.6. This makes sense because the best way I like to describe general effect, even though this doesn't describe all of the caption, is it's the story being told. And I know that that kind of isn't really the whole point of general effect, but that's the one thing I like looking at with that. And when I look at these 2 cores, the Boston Crusaders and Carolina Crown, Boston's definitely telling much more of a story. And if you think of this, Crown always told the stories up until 2016. After 2016, that design staff went to Boston, and now they've been telling stories for the past 3 years through the program design. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I agree that Boston is ahead of Crown in this caption. When we look at 7th place, that's a tie between the Cadets and the Blue Stars. And something I'll dive into in a minute is they tie in visual, too. Phantom Regiment, they finished 9th with a 31.6. Looking at the visual caption, not a whole lot going on here until you get to color guard. You've got visual proficiency, as is visual analysis. You got the Bluecoats at 17.8, Blue Devils 17.7. You've also got the Blue Stars jumping the Cadets here by 0.3, a 16.6 to a 16.3. When you move over to color guard, you have Bluecoats at the top, 18 even, to the Boston Crusaders, 17.9. Blue Devils at a 17.8. Vanguard coming in 4th in color guard, that 4 just does not seem right for them, and I don't think it has a lot to do with them, it's just other cores are good. 3rd is 17.6. 5th, Crown, 17.1. 6th place, the Cavaliers, 16.8. 7th place goes to the Cadets, a 16.5. You got the Blue Stars, 16.4, and Phantom, 16 even. Looking at overall visual scores, everybody goes as is, at least the first 3 do, until you get to Boston Crusaders. They jump Crown by a 10th for 4th, Crown 5th, Cavaliers 6th, Cadets and Blue Stars finish 7th, tie, and Phantom finishes 9th with a 23.9. Looking at the music caption, you've got the Bluecoats at the top, and something I didn't really touch on there is they win everything except percussion. They have all ones, and yes, they do have a few twos mixed in there. Let's say in a caption, that is, or achievement caption, but those are small things. Those don't show in the end. That just means that the margins are very slim. So Bluecoats first in brass, 17.8. You've got Crown second at a 17.6. Third place goes to Santa Clara Vanguard, a 17.5. And the Blue Devils all the way down in 4th place in brass at a 17.4. It's only 4/10. You can make that up. That could be a judge's opinion, but still, 4th place does not look good on anybody's recap. Boston 5th, a 17 even. So you got all those scores, those top 5 in the 17s. Cavaliers pretty much should be. They're at a 16.9, so they're pretty much there. Blue Stars jump the Cadets for 7th, 16.3 to a 15.9, another 4/10 margin. And then Phantom Regiment 15.7 and 9th. Music analysis. The funny thing here is Darren Davis is the judge, and he's the band director at Broken Arrow. Just a funny tidbit there. Bluecoats, they break 18 in this caption. 18 out of 20, very high score for them. Crown second, 17.7. Blue Devils third at 17.6, and Vanguard again down in 4th. Boston finishes 5th here. Cavaliers finish 6th. All those scores 17 and above in analysis. 7th to the Cadets, 8th to the Blue Stars. That's only a 10th, and Phantom at a 15.8. Looking at percussion, Vanguard, of course, strong there. They're almost at 18, a 17.9 last evening. Blue Devils second, a 17.75. Bluecoats third at a 17.65. So you've got them all within 2.5 tenths, but still you've got Vanguard ahead of both the Blue Devils and Bluecoats. 4th place in percussion goes to Carolina Crown. 5th to the Cadets. The Cadets were looking like they could have won another Sanford. Not looking like that anymore. 6th place to the Cavaliers. So you've got those top 6 here in percussion, 17 and above. Boston, they've struggled in percussion. They've started to gain some of that struggle back, I guess you could say, with this 16.8, because they seemed like they were gaining, and now they've kind of fallen off again. 8th place to the Blue Stars, 9th place to Phantom Regiment. Surprise there that Phantom could pull closer to the Blue Stars, with that being their best caption. Overall music, you've got the Bluecoats first. You've got Santa Clara Vanguard second. That's a 26.725 to a 26.45. Third place to Carolina Crown, a 26.4, just half of a tenth of a point separating them and Vanguard in music. 4th place in music. This is not going to end well for the Blue Devils, at least as it stands right now, at a 26.37.5 there. You've also got looking at 5th place, Boston Crusaders, a little bit of a fall off there, down to a 25.5. 6th place to the Cavaliers, 7th to the Cadets, and that's all that's saving them. That 4/10 advantage there over the Blue Stars is all that keeps them ahead last night. And then Phantom Regiment 23.6. Looking at overall totals, Bluecoats 89.375, first quarter break 89 this year. They're about the first quarter break everything this year. And them scoring 90 at San Antonio, that's unheard of, and it's going to happen. Blue Devils second, 88.725, so you think a little bit more than 6/10 there. More than the Blue Devils obviously would like, but does make for some very interesting competition later as the season progresses. Vanguard third, 88.05, a little bit more than a point behind the Bluecoats. Fourth place, 86.85, Carolina Crown. Fifth place, 86.15 to the Boston Crusaders. And really, that's only because of music. If Boston can figure out that percussion thing in music, they'll be right back up with Crown and could pass them. Cavaliers 84.35 for 6th, Cadets 82.3 and 7th, Blue Stars 8th with an 81.9, and Phantom 9th with a 79.1. So, pretty much the world-class leaderboard is everything I showed you, at least the top 12, or 9 of the 12 at that. The only course in the top 12 not there last evening, Blue Knights, who sit in 7th right now. Their score from Monday night still sits over the Cadets and Blue Stars scores from last night. Looking farther down, you've got Mandarin's Crossman. They also weren't there last night. Mandarin's score still holding steady over Phantom Regiment, and also Mandarin's score. I kind of ruled out the Mandarins at one point. I don't think we should do that. I think that they could definitely get right back up there with the Blue Stars, Cadets, Blue Knights by the time the season's over. I think the one core in the top 12 that really nobody's talking about, and they should be, is one, the Cavaliers, because not necessarily they're doing anything spectacular competitively, but their show's good. They're just not being able to gain any ground. And then also the Blue Knights, because they're good. Like, their recap's good. If you take out visual, you make that good, they're a top 6 contender. So let's see what happens as the season goes on, pretty much. Some of these core scores went down last night, some went up, so really not a whole lot we can judge compared to the cores that weren't there. Phantom and Spirit, I still think that that is not really a battle. I think Spirit's, I mean, they have a chance to come in the finals, but I just think that they're so far back right now. And I know their score is still from Sunday, and now it's Wednesday, so maybe not a whole lot we can see there, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing them tomorrow night in Belton on the Flow Marching stream, because I've not seen them live so far this season, or at least on video live, only once or twice on YouTube, so looking forward to seeing them. Now, this next part, this is going to take us into what I'm talking about after this. So really the rest of the show today is Open Class. DCI Open Class Leaderboard, and you've got some interesting stuff happening here. You've got the Blue Devils B and the Vanguard Cadets on top, and they are, or them only touring California this year is not holding them back at all. They are still making gains and are looking really good this year. And if they decide to go to championships in the future, they're gonna win. It's basically as straightforward as I can say it. Gold, they're at a 67.8 right now. That score is still above everybody else when you look at who's going to championships, and that score's from last Saturday. So really, that score is good. But tonight, and I'll talk about this in a minute, looking ahead, you've got Legends, you've got Southwind and more at or in Augusta, New Jersey, rather, and it looks like the open class contest, or the open class competition this year, even if the world class stuff doesn't shape up to be incredibly amazing as we think it is, open class still looks to be very, very, very interesting when you look top to bottom in this division. So tonight, the DCI New Jersey Classic in Augusta, New Jersey. This one is the only one on the schedule tonight, and it's a show at a baseball stadium, Skyland Stadium in Augusta. So really, I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but we'll see. We've got 7 open class cores here. We've got Encore from South Brunswick, New Jersey. We've got the Les Centaurs from Sherbrooke, Quebec. Heatwave from Cape Coral, Florida, and Raiders from Burlington, New Jersey. We got the Southwind from Mobile, Alabama, Spartans from Nashua, New Hampshire, and the Legends from Kalamazoo, Michigan round out the night. So what are we looking for here? We've got the Legends and Spartans first meeting of the season between those two expected championship contenders. We've got them and also throwing gold, and those are really the three cores that have a legitimate shot at winning Open Class this year. We also have Southwind here that they can definitely make top 5 at Open Class Championships. How high can they get tonight? That'll be the real question with them. And I'm saying high isn't scoring. You've also got the Raiders, Heatwave, Lace Centaurs, and Encore. Those 4, I have no idea how they're going to place. Encore could place on top of them. Raiders could place on top of them. I have no idea how they're going to place. We saw Encore getting close to the Raiders at MetLife on July 2nd, so who knows how they'll do tonight. But really, Lace Centaurs, Heatwave, Raiders are those 3 cores that will be contending for Open Class Championships come August. When you look at the finalist bubble, and you've got 14 cores for 12 spots, and really these are 3 of the cores, so 2 will get left out, 1 will make it. And I'm sure maybe somebody else will slide in there, maybe the Colt Cadets or Shadow or somebody, I don't know. And then you also have Encore here. Where can they get, as I said before? Thank you for watching the podcast today. Just a few things. Make sure to visit my website, drumcorecentral.weebly.com, for all the latest updates from the DCI and DCA summer tours. Scores, schedules, leaderboards, and more can all be found on my own personal website about all things drum corps. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Drumcore Geek, and subscribe to the Show Day podcast on YouTube, where this podcast and more will be posted as the season continues to progress. And finally, leave your thoughts in the comment sections, questions, input, comments, etc. All greatly appreciated. So, thanks for watching. Just one other thing, I'll be posting later today my another mid-season review of 6 more cores. This one features the Blue Devils. The Cadets will be featured in it. The Cavaliers as well, and a few others. So be sure to check that out. I'll be posting it on Twitter later today. So, and also my website. So thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.